All right, the hour of 7 o'clock having occurred. Welcome to the November 6, 2023 meeting of Mendocino Historic Review Board. Calling the meeting to order. We just a little backside here. We had a site visit of 3 of the items on tonight's agenda at 4 o'clock. Went for about a half an hour, 45 minutes. We adjourned that portion, so we're calling back to order. So, Planner Waldman, can you please conduct roll call?
Sure can. Planner Waldman here. Chair Rock.
Present.
And Polly Madrigal here. And Alan Sanders.
Here.
And Home Kepler.
Present.
Okay. And for the record, the Mendocino County Planning and Building Staff President is Stephen Schweitzer, who is presenting, as well as Mark Kleiser presenting, and myself, Jesse Waldman, acting as the Executive Secretary.
Thank you. Do we have proper notice for this for posting?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Which brings us to the minutes. We have 2 sets of minutes. We got the September 11th and October 2nd of this year. Any comments, corrections? One more start?
Yeah, I submitted a few changes. We start with September minutes, item 9A, review board discussion, paragraph 5, sentences 2 and 3. Basically, I tried to indicate what my statements were there. I don't know if I have to read the whole thing. I've submitted it to staff. You want me to read it now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Board member Kapler added that according to County Council, this board cannot modify the conditions of approval adopted as part of the permit, and the property owner would need to operate the tent in conformance with all adopted conditions of the permit. This means that in view of conditions 2, 14, and 16, the tent would only be permitted during the existence of a public health order, which does not now exist, and then only during the rainy season. Given this interpretation by Planning and Building Services and County Council, any extension granted by this board would be a nullity, and I would therefore not be in favor of an extension. Under item 9A, review board discussion, paragraph 9, I asked that my name be deleted from that statement. I don't recall making that statement. So that's it for me for September.
What paragraph?
It would be
Pardon?
page,
That was paragraph 9.
it would be the second paragraph above review board action.
Okay.
So page 4, you see review board action in bold, 2 paragraphs up where it says review board members, Kapler will be struck.
Okay. Anything else, Home? For these minutes?
Pardon?
Anything else for these
No,
minutes?
not for that one. I do have some comments on October also.
Okay.
You want me to-
No.
Okay.
Let's do September first.
Right.
I'm fine with September.
I'll second. It's fine with September. Is that
Okay.
a motion?
No, I got a couple comments.
Okay.
At the very front, under President, I think we left off Director Krog.
I will confirm that and add that.
Well, she did make a presentation, so
Okay. Oops.
not sure if she
Thank
did
you.
it. Yeah, no problem. On 7A, the very last sentence, majority of comments express, this is 2 words, comments express, not fine.
I will add a space.
Same thing on 9A, just above review board discussion.
Yes.
And then I also have something on 9A. I do recall asking you stating, confirming that all 4 property owners that have tents have submitted applications by the deadline.
Yes.
So it'd be nice to put that in the minutes. I didn't see that. Maybe I missed it.
And that was for 9A, under
Yeah.
review board discussion.
Yes.
All right.
It's towards the end, and I think it sort of confirms, it ties in everything with, there's some, it was a very challenging discussion, but I think we all sort of came to the realization that if, not all, a majority realize that if Mr. Graham has a new application in, then the existing application was too fraught with errors and contradictions, as Paul was saying, that we decided as a majority to deny the extension of the application, and then at the very end, the review board, you put it unanimously, it wasn't unanimous, it was a 3-2 majority.
I will strike the word unanimously.
Thank you. And I believe we heard 9B and then 9C. We heard the hotel, and then we heard the Cafe Beaujolais at the end.
So the order of 9C and 9B?
Yes, should be reversed.
Okay.
And with that, is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
By voice vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed then? Get that?
Yes.
None. October minutes.
Okay,
Paul?
I've got
Please,
a number
Wait,
of,
hold on.
please pause just for a moment.
Yes?
On September, page 5.
Well, this is the old agenda.
Okay, hold on just a moment. Sorry, there was a spelling error on September. Fixed. Please
Okay.
continue. Thank you for your patience.
Okay. Thank you. Paul?
okay. This is item 9A, review board discussion, paragraph 3, first sentence, and I'd like the sentence to be rewritten as follows. Review board member Kepler requested staff to explain historical categories 1 and 2A and to respond to Kathleen Cameron's suggestion that while the barn is currently designated a category 2A structure, it is in a quote holding place and could become a category 1 structure in the future. Then paragraph 3, the fourth sentence, delete and substitute. Board member Kapler recommended that the look of the barn be kept historical by retaining the barn-style doors and expressed concern about the addition of so many new windows to the south elevation of the barn, which detracted from the look of the barn. And under review board action, first sentence, third line, delete and substitute, including fewer windows and retaining barn-style doors. And then finally, under review board action, the last sentence, I'd like to have that changed to read, review, and this involves you, Alan. Review board member Saunders amended the motion to also approve the new proposed paint colors for the barn and the replacement of the corrugated roof with a composite roof. By roll call vote, the review board unanimously approved the amended motion 4-0. That's, yeah.
Sorry. I remember that, but they decided that we couldn't change it, we couldn't approve part of it. Remember? We weren't allowed to say like, yes, we're gonna approve this part of it, but not the whole thing.
I don't remember
You don't
that.
remember
Yeah,
that?
so okay, I think what it was is that the motion was continue it, and then Alan wanted to make sure that part of that continuation was that we recommended the composite roof
We were
instead of.
fine with that part. Right?
You can't, yeah, as Holly says, you can't, you either continue or you approve, you can't approve parts. So I think the recommendation to continue was that you wanted to include,
The roof, I didn't want to
Yeah.
discuss that again, yeah.
Yeah.
you wanted to include that we were okay with the comp roof instead of the metal roof.
Yes.
So I don't know how you want to wordsmith that.
If I may, through the chair. So review board action at the October hearing for the project, MHRB 23014, to the old Mendoza's warehouse building on North Capella and Lansing Street. That project was continued to the December 4th hearing, where the review board asked for multiple items to be revisited, but also wanted for the record to consider the discussion about the roof because there has been roofing material errors, confusion over the past 7 or 8 years. And so part of the capturing of this statement with Home Kapler's edits include fewer windows was so the review board asked for alternatives to include.
We're trying to give direction to the applicant.
Yes, and those directions were to specifically include fewer windows, retaining of barn-style doors, discussion about window and door materials, as well as the paint, the proposed paint colors. The board was showing support of the proposed paint colors, is my interpretation of this sentence. And that the change from a corrugated roof to a comp roof was also in support, or the board gave support. So those really needed to be, the board really wanted to preserve those.
Recommendations. Right?
Yes, those recommendations and the concepts proposed that they liked them, but to still bring it back in December.
Correct.
Yeah, I said that shouldn't be a long discussion then if we've already supported, that was the point, really.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
just wanted
it's
to
just
make
a way
sure
of
that's
capturing the design alternatives that the board wanted to hear, and then also the concepts that the board did support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is 4-0, because
Yes.
There was the recusal of a board member at that
So it's
meeting,
1-0.
and it was unanimously agreed by the 4 members to agree with the continuance with the specific
Yep.
points named.
You just need to put 4-0 and 1 abstention.
Yes, home has
Okay.
made that for the record.
Are we good?
I'm good.
Motion to approve?
I'll do that.
Second.
Second.
So a motion by Saunders, second by Kapler, all in favor, voice vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you. Okay. Agenda item number 5, correspondence. Have we received any correspondence for items not on the posted agenda?
No, we have not.
Okay. Brings me to 6, report from the chair. That'd be me. So one, I want to publicly thank Ishvi for his time on the board. You definitely spruced things up there for us for a bit. So thank you for volunteering. And just as a clarification for the record and for everyone in the room, County Council decided, realized that in their opinion, there's a conflict of interest by serving on both MCCSD and MHRB, the Community Services District, which is Water and Sewer, and MHRB, the Review Board. And so, board member Ishvi was asked to make a decision on which one he wanted to stick on, and so he resigned his seat this last month on MHRB. So, you enjoy yourself on MCCSD because you have too much time on your hands. Which brings us to the obvious, an open seat over here. So, making a call to the community anyone wishing to give to their community and join us up here. It's much better to have 5 than it is 4, because if you have an absence, then you're bordering on the edge of not having a quorum. And at this point, if we have a split 2-2, and we can't resolve it, that ends up in a denial of an application. So if you are interested in the audience, or you know of anyone who wants to be, please have them get an application, get in a hold of Ted Williams. He's the 5th district supervisor, and it's his choice to make a recommendation to the full board as to anyone wanting to serve office. So, I implore upon you, Gary, to come forth. That's my report from the chair, and thank you to the rest of you for sticking around with us. Appreciate your servitude. Which brings us to agenda item number 7, public expression. We welcome participation on items that are not, well, a full participation, but this agenda item 7 is for items not on the agenda. If you want to address anything specifically, please come to the podium, state your name for the record, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening, board members and staff. My name is Sarah Bodner, and I'm a resident of Mendocino and owner of the Mendocino Tea Company. And I came tonight because I wanted to ask 2 questions about the sign ordinance that you all have been working on updating. And I also want to express my appreciation to this group for taking that on and looking at ways to make a more streamlined path that's more cost effective both for business operators and the county to hang signs in locations that were previously permitted. And when I went to look at the records for my property with Planner Walden, thank you Jesse for pulling every single sign permit that had ever been pulled on that parcel with me, a couple of questions came up. First, if that ordinance is in effect yet, if it has been signed, and if it's live, or if we're still waiting on anything. And then secondly, there is, and one of the requirements, there are 4 requirements, and also conformity with county code. And there was one of the requirements that I had a question about. It says that the sign must be similar in color and design to the original sign. And I just wanted clarification, is it that we need to not have neon, not have metallics, not have glowing colors, or does it have to be a similar design like somebody else's logo? That is my question tonight, thanks.
Can you address that?
Yes, so
I think the first answer is it's right here. It's right here. It appeared on my desk, on our desk, and it's awaiting my signature. So that is the ordinance.
Yes.
It's not in effect. Does it have to be signed to be officially in effect?
Yes.
Okay. So imminent.
Like tonight?
Hopefully, I need to have a minute to read through, make sure it's exactly what I think it is.
Cool.
And then as to the color and design, can you address that,
Yes.
please?
Chair, or Planner Waldman, if I may, through the chair. So the ordinance that the board adopted is just requiring a couple of signatures through, we got the director's signature, and we are requesting the chair's signature. As soon as I have that, we will be posting that official live document on our website under department policies. And if you feel so moved, you can email me with sign policy in your email, and I will send that over directly to you when it's live. And then regarding chapters 760, hold on, because I don't have the policy in front of me. Ross has it. Let's see.
Chairman, read from the plan.
There's very specific guidelines about what covers sign copies. So under that policy, there are 4 requirements for sign copies to be exempt from NHRB approval. And the question tonight is about color. So sign changes, this is what our historical review board exemption policy says for signs. Is that the sign shall conform to sign size and design standards contained in this chapter as well as the sign chapter policy. Be similar in color and design of the original sign and is not larger than the original sign and in the same location on a property as the original sign. And so the policy that we've been discussing over the last year or so, I would say, maybe longer, maybe shorter, is that if there's a previously approved MHRB, a previously approved sign by the board, and somebody would like to put up a new business sign in the similar color, design, size, not larger than, still fits the materials, wood, ratios, and it's in the same location, then that would not be required to be presented to the board. And I believe that the question on the floor is, what is the board's perspective on color and design similarities?
Yeah, so one of the things that the memo says, the policy says, replacements under plan, which is, those are the 4 points, this is under plan over here. Replacement sign shall be the same shape and size and similar in color, brightness, tone, and hue. Fluorescent, metallic, iridescent, or otherwise modern colors shall be avoided. And I think the question was, and I don't think it's clear here, is that what about design? And how would you review and either approve or deny the over-the-counter application in terms of similar design?
So we would get something in writing from the applicant to say, what is your proposed sign that you would like to do, and we will compare it to the approved MHRB sign. And so I cannot remember we did find, with the site specific, we did find a sign in the exact location that she wants to put her sign. It had kind of a similar shape, but I can't remember which color was approved, and I do not know which colors or color the applicant is requesting to do. So we would need to see that, and
Okay.
so if it was a white sign.
I don't think we're interested as much as the colors of the design. So if someone had a special logo, can the new applicant have a different logo as long as everything else is?
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
because
Different business name.
my name is different than yours, yes.
Understood.
And so the letters themselves will change, but the intent of the sign, not the intent, but the similarity. So if I have a red sign and I want to put up a green sign, now if I have a white sign and I have a opaque yellow sign, or if I have a brown chestnut versus a pine sign.
Does any of that matter? That's my question, like.
That's what her question is. And so we have to look
Yeah,
at what
it's
is
about, the
proposed.
definition of similar is the problem, right?
Right,
Yes,
That's really the number
Right.
problem.
So if it was a black and white
So
sign and somebody
similar should be
proposed.
easy to judge.
Right, so if it's a black and white sign and somebody proposes a black frame with black lettering and it's sky blue, the colors are, it depends on the color.
I think we really wanted to try and avoid fluorescent, metallic, whatever, and as long as it was similar in the sense of being
Not offensive.
not offensive, then
And
Not fluorescent or not.
so part of the long discussion with signs is that to amend the 3 exemptions means that we would have to amend our Mendocino Town zoning regulations, which we've talked about
Yes.
that many times. So if we did do a reduced sign fee for signs, and they are now a consent item. We still do a site visit to make sure that all questions have been answered. And so the similarity of color, light, dark, if the board wants to talk about what is similar in color,
So I think the intent is to make it as easy as possible to the applicant without putting a burden on the general overall aesthetics of the town.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be one of those things where hopefully staff will be able to make some not too subjective decisions, more objective, but I think we're gonna have to sort of wait and see how this plays out. And the biggest problem, as Jesse's mentioned, we've had discussions ad nauseum. There's certain things we can change, there's certain things we can't change because of the code that exists already. So we're trying to widen it up as much as possible without having to change the code, so that it is as easy as possible for a merchant to come in and get a new sign over the counter. And I see staff nodding their heads, so hopefully it answers your question.
Thank you for that clarity, and I'm happy to be a test case, and I think moving from rainbow colors to black and white should be an easy move. I'm hoping,
Okay, thank you.
but
We'll see.
we'll work on it soon.
We'll work towards it. Anyone else from the public wishing to make a public expression, please state your name for the record and keep your comments under 3 minutes.
All right, my name is Ishviom, I'm a member of the public, and first I want to say I think that the board should consider an at-large seat. I thought that was a good idea when I was on the board, and I still think it's a good idea. I think that there are many people in the surrounding community who have good skills to offer to the Historical Review Board that don't necessarily live in the village. And I think having one seat of people who are at large would benefit this board. It's easier to have a 5-person board all the time. Lastly, on the signed copy thing, I think we went on and on trying to reiterate to Jesse that the part under plan, what we're trying to do, or the board was trying to do, myself included, it was to avoid the use of metallic and fluorescent. And we weren't so concerned if somebody went from blue to red, as long as they were still within the historical color scheme, which we've now adopted for the entire town. So I think as long as the signed copy that comes before you adheres to the historical color scheme, then it should be approved and pushed forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just as I know it was on the minutes in October, if we do have room on our December meeting, can we please have agendize a discussion, reopen that discussion about what we would recommend as allowable
if I may.
people on the board, yes.
So what I get here is that Chair Roth, you're asking staff to put on the agenda for December for similar colors discussion of signs.
No, this is for
Sorry.
seats. For
Oh,
seats on the board.
I'm sorry.
The requirements for, no, I'm done with this.
Oh, okay.
Almost done.
Sorry.
That's right. I know we had a discussion prior, and I know we have a new composition of the board, and I think we need to revisit that. And I think, especially since we're down a seat, so if we can have a discussion on what the requirements are in terms of what we'd recommend to the board of supervisors for composition and requirements to be on MHRB, that'd be great.
And I have had people ask if they can apply if they're registered to vote at a residence here, even if they maybe live elsewhere. So that's gonna come up, because I know people who have businesses that are maybe registered to vote at their business, so I'd be interested to know if that would work for an applicant.
I think the bigger question is the composition of business owners versus homeowners.
Right,
Which is
I mean,
why we're gonna have
that's
this
the other.
discussion.
Why we're gonna have a
Yeah.
discussion, yes.
But when I talk it up and I tell people, they say, I don't know if I'm eligible, and I said, I think you have to be registered to vote in the district, but,
We can outline this.
yeah.
I'll give you a call. Okay, anyone else? Mr. Sachs, would you like to talk about something that's not on the agenda?
Yeah, to continue this discussion, Rick Sachs, in the direction you guys are moving toward following through with what we've always known as a copy change is wonderful, and I'm delighted to hear that. I know I've run into problems in the past where the thing about similar colors became a problem where if there was a sign previously that had a blue background with white letters, and then an application came in for a white background with blue letters, there were decisions made at planning level that said that the design is changing because the main feel of the sign is changed by the background color changing. And I'm wondering how you guys want to roll with that.
We know where.
We're leaning on staff to become more open and more discretionary, I guess, about allowing for ease of passage of an over-the-counter permit.
And also there might need to be some verbiage about the similar design. That doesn't mean that you have to stick to the same letter type or font.
That's the intent. Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to make a comment on an item not on the agenda?
If I may back up just one moment, just for clarification, there will be on the next meeting in December, discussion items set for owners, not just residents. Being allowed, this was in the October minutes. There was asked by a board member at that time to review and summarize the requirements for the review board seats. So I'm going to be adding your discussion to that same topic.
Yeah, and I think we want to just generically open it up to a discussion on what the requirements are for
Yes.
board
Yes.
members, and not specifically business versus not, but broadly
Okay.
consistency of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going on to the consent calendar. We have 5 items on the consent calendar. 8A, Bayless, 8B, Robinson, 8C, Mendocino River Cemetery, 8D, Schmidt-Jones, and 8E, Kavanaugh. Does any of the board members wish to remove one or any of the consent calendar items?
No.
No. Is there any correspondence or telephone calls that were received regarding the consent items?
If I may through the chair, yes, there was one memorandum for item 8E, where there were additional drawings supplied by the owner's Kavanaugh's agent, and that has been posted online. Just to clarify the driveway, and I did post it on the wall for you today. We did not do a site visit. So we did receive clarification from the agent. We also did receive DOT approval for the reduced surface material to the property line of 12 foot 6 inches. They are required per their NHRB permit to obtain an encroachment permit with DOT, but to limit their asphalt. And so that's those 2 drawings are clarifications about the driveway.
And this drawing, the single that's on the wall that was in the packet, correct?
Yes, it is. I do believe that the driveway width will be 12 and a half feet wide, and it will also be 12 and a half feet deep from edge of pavement to the property line, and that has been approved by the Department of Transportation.
Okay. Thank you. I guess we have a public hearing open on consent items. Is there anyone from the public wishing to make any comments on any of the consent items? Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Public hearing is closed, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent items.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
One moment.
And that was a motion by Magical, second by Kaplan.
And Chair Rock,
Aye.
Allen,
Aye.
who's on the board of you, Polly,
Aye.
and Hope.
Aye.
4-0 unanimous approval of items A through E of the consent calendar.
So if you're in the audience for any of those items, you're free to go, unless you want to stay for the free entertainment this evening. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's it.
Alright. Which brings us to our one public hearing item, which is 9A. And that is MHRD case 2023-0011 bond. And I'm not going to bother wasting my breath. I'll have planner Steven Spicer give a presentation, please.
All right, well, thank you for the introduction, Chair Ross. I'm Steven Schweitzer here. This is a MHRD permit for a new single-family residence on a vacant lot. So the applicant and the project description reads as follows: a new single-family residence with deck, 2-car garage, fenced utility enclosure, driveway, and exterior downcast lighting. A little historical context here: the subject parcel was created by a minor subdivision, CDNS 13/2005. The property is zoned Mendocino rural residential, and as detailed in the staff report, the project is consistent with the zoning regulations within the said zoning district. However, the applicant is requesting a reduced front yard setback. Staff is recommending finding C contained in the staff report for the review board to consider granting a concurrent variance for a reduced front yard setback from 20 feet as proposed within the Mendocino rural zoning district to 10 feet as indicated on the project plans. For context, this is the eastern property line abutting Ford Street extension. So, page 3 of the staff report also contains an analysis of the project's design with the historical review board's design guidelines. It's important to note here that the U.S. Secretary of Interior standards for treatment of historic properties provides in part that buildings and structures as well as sites should be products of their own time. So, as stated, page 3 details the design guidelines and comparison of what's proposed. In short, we're looking at horizontal wood siding with a clear oil finish, a corrugated metal, galvanized metal roof, and windows would be 2/2 windows, 6 light windows, and 4 light clerestory windows. So the clerestory windows are pretty similar to these windows behind us here, allowing some more light into the structure. So with that, I'm available for some further questions, and I'm also able to address any of the 2 public comments that were submitted before this meeting.
I think let's hear from the applicant.
Okay.
And then we can do public expression, and then we come back and ask and hammer you if we need to.
Okay.
Mr. Grimes?
Thank you, Planner Sponsor. As I said on the site visit, Kelly Brown, the agent. The applicant, I bought this enlarged site plan that's got a survey map overlaid on it. And basically the main thing that it shows is it tries to capture the there you go, now you can see it.
We just lost one of our members of our.
I'm sorry.
Put it against the wall. Why do you do that? Thank you.
Okay, so, at any rate, you can see these are the neighbors' houses. Here's a house, and here's a house. And the main reason that we're asking for that, the variance on the front here, we've already got 27 feet from the road edge. And then instead of going another 20 feet, which would put us more in front of this neighbor's house, we're asking to just go 10 feet more. The reason that it's only one story, we try to, as I said on the site, we try to adapt to the existing residences and take into account their views, trying to keep the roof low, and take advantage of the views. So, do you have any questions?
Not at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're now opening up the public hearing. If you're from the public, actually, yes. If you're in the audience, you'd like to make a comment about the design, please come forward to the podium.
Lisa has wheels.
He's from Kodiak. All right. Anyone from the public wishing to make a comment on the application? Okay. Definitely more roar. Close the public hearing. Can you please, Planner Waldman, or Switch, whatever, review the correspondence or telephone calls that were received on this item?
Planner Schweitzer here, through the chair, if I may. We received 2 comments submitted. One was a written letter, and one was an email. They were both made available on the website. They are from 2 adjacent property owners. One to the south, where the property line, the southern property line, and then one is to the eastern property line, so on the other side of Ford Street Extension.
Could you either summarize or read them? for the
Yeah,
record?
so the property owner to the south expressed some concerns regarding the proposed property line and whether or not that was indicated on record. So staff had reviewed, the comments and would like to provide a little background here. So the review board can grant a concurrent variance for reduced side or front yard setbacks. As proposed, the applicant is well in advance of the 6-foot side yard. So as proposed, is currently sited 15 feet from that southern property line. So I find that there would be no potential for encroachment on that southern property line. So the review board would be effectively approving the project 15 feet from wherever that property line may be.
And so determination of that location of the property line is basically has no bearing upon our decision, is what you're saying. We either approve the project or not, and then the line falls where it does based upon the survey.
Correct.
And the other?
The other was regarding some views, and they opposed the design of the structure, in short. So,
Okay. Great. Let's bring it back to the board. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
I had a couple of questions. The house, I guess, is required to have solar panels. Do we have an indication of where the solar panels are going to be located?
Yeah, I drew them on the south elevation of the house.
Okay.
Along that, I just diagrammatically showed them. I'm not sure that we're going to require that many solar panels, but basically the whole southern facing roof is got solar panels.
So they're going to be basically on the south location of the house?
Yes.
Okay, right.
And it seems like they're primarily within the courtyard, is that correct?
Yeah, they're on the lower roof, so yeah, primarily visible in the courtyard, a little bit from the driveway.
And I noticed that we've got, what, at least one sliding door? Or one?
Yeah, at least one.
One.
I think there's one coming out of the living room and there's one going out of the
Yeah.
bedroom to the west.
And west and north.
Yes.
Could, I'm wondering why that couldn't be like a French door. I know, you know, this is a part of town that's not a historic part of town, but nevertheless, I think, I'm not trying to change the modern character of the structure, but I think perhaps a French door would fit in more with what we would normally require.
I can tell you the reason for the sliding door is that the wind doesn't have it, you know, it doesn't grab it and swing it open and rip it off its hinges. But if a French door is standing between you and approving this project, I'm sure I could convince the owner to put in 2 French doors as opposed to the sliders.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
as I recall, the sliding doors, yeah, they're solid, right? They don't have any divided lights.
No, it's the design.
So is it the lack of divided light or the fact that it is a sliding mechanism that's disturbing?
Do you
Or
guys
is
have
that
any-
Kaplan? Is it the fact that it's just one solid piece of glass and it's not divided? Is that what you don't like about the look of the sliding door?
I would prefer divided window doors.
We could, I mean, you could easily get divided light sliding, right?
Okay, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay, we're happy to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
What else do you have, home?
No, I don't really have any other issues here.
Okay. Holly?
I think this is just an illusion, but on the west elevation, the railing's not like chain link, right? I'm sure it's not, but is it?
Chain link fence?
I mean, it just sort of looks like that on the railing right here on the west elevation.
Oh, you mean down below it?
Yeah, it just sort of, like, I think maybe it's just cross hatching for the,
Yeah, I think the cross hatching that you're seeing that you were referring to as chain link fencing is
Well, I
like
assume that it's not.
redwood lattice. Like, you know,
Oh,
lattice
okay.
is below,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
What
was
is that?
here.
and then the railing is like,
the cable, that cable
Cables,
railing.
yeah.
So we kind of disappearing is the idea.
and yeah, I just want to clarify that we, you know, what we heard from staff and heard out on the site visit, that there may still be questions about the setbacks and the property lines, but that is separate and apart from our decision-making. That we can make this decision based on the setbacks, given whatever the property lines tend to, you know, end up being. Right.
So this comment about the boundary may end up crossing landscaping property and pergola is, it may or may not, but it's
Yeah,
nothing.
it doesn't alter the
affect
project at all.
project, yeah, okay.
Anything from you, Alan?
No, that was, she asked the same question I was gonna ask, so, that's good, I think. And I was also gonna go to the sliding doors, because they do stand out relative to the other windows, as
Uh-huh.
you know, just plain versus, so I think we saw that one too.
Yeah, no, I agree. It would look much better if they were divided.
And then the other aspect is the setback, right, a shorter setback than would be,
The east
it's
side.
sort of keeping it closer to this
To
corner,
the road.
which I would think would be better for the neighbors, because it would have more open space on the
Yeah.
property surrounding it. I certainly, you know, I can understand that neighbors, having had a vacant lot there for ages, would prefer there not to be a building there, but the fact is that it's sort of within the, you know, the rights of the vacant lot to.
Yeah, and it's a one-story building.
It's one story, which all the surrounding ones are not one story, so that's,
And I don't know practically how we would make a different view of the potential in this letter. No property view is obstructed. Application did not prove as stated, and a thorough investigation is made by no property use obstructed. I don't know how we would do a more thorough investigation than we did by walking up to the property and looking, I mean, you know, I don't know how to do that otherwise. Until you built it, basically.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that this survey shows that, you know, the neighbor to the south, their floor level is approximately 118 feet above sea level, and the neighbor to the east is approximately 126 feet above sea level, and we're planning on having our floor about 115. So everyone across the street is at least 10 feet, you know, 10 or 11 feet above us, and as they go, you know, up the street, you get higher and higher. So it seems like they'll pretty easily see over our house.
Yeah, and I don't know how, at this stage, we do a better job on this, which is what the letter writer is asking for, and I don't frankly know how to do that, so I think I'm okay.
Yeah. I think, I commend the agent and the applicant on really considering placement of this to mitigate the view corridors for the neighbors. It's a wonderful location. And yeah, if you buy a piece of land, you have the right to develop it within the rules and regulations around, and the fact that you guys kept to single stories, I think, very commendable. The one thing that hit me, which I like, because it's in writing, U.S. Secretary of the Interior standards for the treatment of historic properties provides in part that all buildings, structures, and sites should be recognized as products of their own time. Contemporary design should not be discouraged. When such designs do not destroy significant historical, architectural, or cultural materials, and such design is compatible with the size, scale, color, material, and character of the property, neighborhood, and environment. And I believe that we call this is it Class A area, or what's the A designation?
It's category A.
Category A,
Yeah.
which means it's part of the historical district, but clearly the surrounding structures were not from the 1880s. I think we were going through 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. And they have a much different look. And I think it was either Holm or Alan, I think, who said, the only way you're going to be able to see this new building from the village would be from the gymnasium at high school.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's in harmony with its surrounding neighborhood structures. It's definitely, I mean, if this was put in the center of town, I'd say, you're crazy. But it's in harmony with other structures around there, and I think it fits in well. I know that there's a comment about colors, but I'm not too concerned with that. I think the overall feeling is it's in harmony with the structures over there, so.
Do you have one more question?
Yes, please.
We were talking about there on the site about the corrugated roofing. Did you think it was the kinds that would patina over time?
I think he's probably gonna go with the galvanized, which is, the idea is not to let it rust.
Right, but I would hope that it wouldn't be like, blinding.
Reflective.
No.
Yeah, I would hope it wouldn't be, I would hope it would have, like a,
Yeah, we have a map,
rough
it's not like
net,
a map finish.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm with you.
okay.
We don't want this
We don't
glaring reflected.
A little UFO that landed, kind of thing.
Yeah, because straight galvanized is like that, it's, yeah. Okay, yeah, then I'm fine with it.
And it just seemed to me that it's a modern house, but it's certainly not the only modern house in that neighborhood. So, I don't think we're breaking ground here. And with the natural wooden colored siding, seems to be appropriate for that setting.
With that, would you like to make a motion?
I would love to make a motion. I think that we should approve permit 2023-0011 with perhaps the addition of a sliding French door rather than just the sliding aluminum door. And that would be the only change that I would suggest.
Would you want to make it divided light door?
Or a divided light door instead of the sliding aluminum door,
Okay.
yes. That would be the only change to the proposal that we have before us.
Okay.
So that's my motion.
Second that. Sorry.
If I may, I was just gonna propose a condition language for you guys, so pretty basic here. Sliding door shall have divided lights. So that could be an added condition, condition number 12.
Are you okay with that, motion maker? And is there a
I'll second.
second?
Eh?
Go ahead.
If I may, through the chair, lots of great discussion. Is there a decision, or are you guys going to talk about losing material before we vote?
I think we're good with it.
Yeah.
We're good.
That it's
As
It's the
proposed. As
the-
proposed.
Yeah, and it's the, what do you call it?
Galvanized.
It is called galvanized. It's a combination of aluminum and galvanized steel.
Galvanum with a matte finish that doesn't
Yeah, it's
reflect.
got a matte, it's non-reflective supposedly. Non-reflective matte finish.
okay, thank you.
Are you good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion by Paul and a second by Alan. Roll call, please.
So for the roll call, we have a motion on the table to approve this with a condition added that states that the sliding window be divided.
Sliding door shall have divided lights.
Sliding door shall have divided lights.
As Stephen proposed in condition number 12.
Thank you. And Holly,
Yes.
sorry, who's seconded?
I did.
Alan, thank you. Roth,
Aye.
Alan,
Yes,
and Holm.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
4-0 with a revised
No,
condition.
yeah, we'll be in.
No. You're very well behaved,
You're not
thank you.
storming out. Weird.
But clearly it was provided. Congratulations.
Thank you.
good building.
Okay. Item number 10, matters from the board members. Does anyone have anything they want to bring up?
I just got two. It was mentioned today that we did the site visit for the signs, and I don't feel strongly, I'd be fine to not do site visits on the sign unless one of the, unless one of the, when we get the packet, one of the board members asks for it. I don't know. I mean, I could,
That's fine.
I can't always make the site visits anyway. And then, I was wondering if I could get an update, that corner property that had the DOT traffic, the corner of Main and Heiser. You know what I'm talking about? With all the sidewalk work?
Yes.
They've got all this tape and it
Right.
says like, ask the county if you don't like it. And I just wonder like, what's the status? We approved everything. What's the status of that? Do you know?
This is the first of my hearing any comments
Yes.
made. I'm not aware of any comment coming in to Cheyenne Building Services. I will do a site visit tomorrow to see what it is that you are referring to. The
There's
driveway.
just some like ribbons up. I don't know, maybe they don't want anyone walking on the existing sidewalk until they fix it. That would be my guess, but I don't know.
So I haven't seen any signs yet, but I will tell you, a status of that site is that part of the subdivision requirements is that improvements are made, which we've seen presented to this board, along Heiser's at the private driveway where they have a reduced, material allowance, the culverts and drainage and everything, and that application is, my understanding, the status of the encroachment permit with the Department of Transportation is they're doing site work to make that encroachment permit final.
Okay.
But I will do a drive-by tomorrow, to verify everything.
Yeah, I assume it's still moving forward. We'll see. There's
I
just a
will.
sign that's like, if you don't like this tape,
I think.
yell at the county. It says something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was the county that put that up, but,
That would be
it's-
interesting.
yes, the guy who owns the house put up a sign, said, don't complain to me, complain to the county.
Right,
You
that's
know,
what
so
I'm referring to, yeah.
There seems to be,
I don't know, like, as far as I
Some
know, it was a
concern here.
subdivision, you know, like, they're doing all the things they're supposed to do,
Somebody's
so,
complaining to somebody.
yeah, anyway.
So I will check on that, and I will say that it does take a considerable amount of time for a subdivision to be approved at the county and the time it takes to do all of the requirements. And so maybe the comments that are being posted or spurring the landowners about that temporary sign, to look at that temporary sign.
You'll see.
Okay.
But no, that's all I got, thank you. And I am talking it up, our vacant seat, and I checked with Supervisor Williams, and he said he hasn't gotten any applications as of today. So,
If I may, regarding the vacant seat, there is a process for applying. I do believe that you do work with your board supervisor, which is Ted Williams for the 5th district, but there is an application that is online, and I believe it's through the executive office.
County clerk, I think.
I do have that information on site with me at this meeting every month, if anybody does have questions.
Okay.
great, thank you.
Do you have anything?
At the risk of reopening all the wounds, where are we on the discussion on tents in terms of coordination between the building and planning and us and I guess MCCSD too?
Coastal Commission.
Whatever. And I forgot the there's several bodies that the board of supervisors directed staff to go and get together and formulate policy, and I wonder where we were on that discussion.
Okay, I will try to find a response from you. I will speak with the director on that.
Okay.
Anything else? Agenda item number 11, matters from staff. Does it matter?
It does matter. Just that next month we will be having, a few different items that you guys have requested at the October hearing and tonight's hearing. We'll be working on, your requests.
I was like, oh, November? No, it's December. Okay.
It is December.
Are we going to have public items? Do we have any public items, agendas?
I do not know, which we could do a little bit of future tripping about just January, which we could all pull up the calendar about when the first Monday of the month is in January. I do not know if we have public items or consent items for December.
That's why I'd still like to have meetings so we can hash out some of these other.
Yes, but for January, it would not be on the 1st because that's a holiday. We do have the room reserved for January 8th. Will we be able to have a forum for January 8th with 3 or more? Okay, great.
I think so. We're only have meetings allowed for that, so.
Okay. So no matters from staff other than
No, I am meeting.
just reiterating there are some review
Okay,
board
so
requests.
we would not be meeting on the 1st.
It's New Year's Day.
No,
Good if you want.
Do you guys have big plans up here?
Not
the night before.
Not on the first.
Yeah.
Not to be
There's
here.
sleeping and coffee involved.
Okay, I'm not positive I'm available on the 8th, but I'll,
Just check our calendars and we can always.
Yeah, my plans are sort of in flux and I won't know until probably later. But I think I am. I don't think really need to attend.
Great. With that, at 8:04, I'm calling this meeting adjourned.
awesome, guys, thank you. I didn't remember that.